As a result, and as you can expect, this meant we were confined inside in our much smaller houses with tiny bedrooms. From a young age, Wesley and I had enjoyed playing with Lego and Action Men when we did play inside. So that was encouraged, of course, in Ireland too. However, no matter how extensive our imaginations were, you can't do that all the time. Also, this isn't what happened when you went to friends' houses either. There we were introduced to the forbidden TV, video and computer games, etc. I must note here that I have countless memories of playing rugby and soccer on the greens with the other children from the estate on long summer days in Ireland. Yes, I was a girl who loved rugby, still am, thanks to my amazing country's passion for it, along with my dad's enthusiasm for the game. I don't know why I got teary about that. Anyway, Ireland gave us the opportunity to travel more extensively. From a young age, my parents valued saving their money to take us on holiday whilst living a relatively modest day to day life. For these experiences and memories, I am eternally grateful. Getting back to the Irish, it wasn't that they did it deliberately, it was just harder to connect with them coming from such different lifestyles. As a result, us foreigners tended to gravitate towards each other. My best friend at the time was Tara, who was born in England, grew up in Tanzania, and was here in Ireland for boarding school. Other close friends included some Australian girls. I had two Irish best friends, Megan and Sinead. For the most part, I tried very hard to fit in with the Irish. I quickly developed a lovely Dublin accent in an unconscious effort to narrow the divide and also not have to repeat myself so often. Not surprisingly, things didn't change much. So, somewhere around this time, my depression started to leak out at school, whether it was crying in the bathrooms or having minor breakdowns in the classroom. It started to become a significant problem. The school did their very best to help me, from fetching Tara from her class to come comfort me, to sending me to their special ed teacher or nurse or the reverend. However, there came a point where they had exhausted all their options, and so they phoned my parents. After that, things changed at home. My mom couldn't handle my issues, so she mostly ignored them and me. As a as a result, my mom is very anti-conflict, so burying her head in the sand is a popular coping mechanism for her. I suspect this tendency is a consequence of her childhood. However, I will not attempt to psychoanalyze my mom. My dad, on the other hand, told me that I was wrong, I wasn't depressed, and that I wouldn't know what I wanted until I was 21. Now, before it comes across as I'm blaming my parents or anything like that, remember this is all now happening in the midst of miscarriages and my sister being born, and my brothers needed them too. So I'm not telling you this as a judgment, simply as what was. A few months after my sister was born, my mom had a clinic appointment for her, and I said that I would just wait in the car. She had just picked me up from school. Once she was gone, I just got out of the car and started walking. I walked up into the Wicklow Mountains in the rain. Eventually, hours later, I finally answered my phone and my dad came and found me. I remember walking in the door. My mom looked at me and then ignored me. She didn't speak to me for at least a day after that. I also remember sitting in a hot bath for half an hour and still being cold afterwards because I had got so cold and wet out there. As my teen years came, I just became more and more of a problem in the family. I felt like I had no one and that no one understood me and I was alone. Then, at the age of 14 years, my parents decided it was best for our family to come back to South Africa. I was excited to come back. Besides having become rather patriotic, I thought that Ireland was the cause of my problems. Once back, it was great, like a holiday. Then the depression began to rear its ugly head again.